got another project I've got going on here. I'm out in the shade on a hot Texas day. It's probably over 102, maybe even 105 by now, but shade and a lot of water helps. But we're taking just old pine tongue and groove board, and I'm going to re-side my son's closet and make a closet that's a lot more functional. What I've done is I sanded the board first, just run over it real quick, and then I painted it with a walnut stain and I let it dry. Then I sanded that. Then I put on kind of a whitewash color, and then I sanded that. And then now I've added a kind of a red color to it. I mixed a reddish pink and an orange to get this color. I took a tip from one of our YouTube contributors. Here's his YouTube channel. You can take a look at the colors are not ones I necessarily picked. I mean, I picked them, but I went by and just got paints that were on discount because whoever had them mixed didn't want them. So they're really cheap, and you can get them for, you know, small can for about $5–6 and a big can for $9 or $10 at Lowe's. That's who I use, and that was good advice. And so, but what we're trying to do here is just keep painting and sanding. Now, the stain was put on with a rag, the whitewash was put on with a rag, but I just brush stroked the red, and you can see how it just kind of looks like that. It's pretty much that way on every board. And then I sanded it as well. And now I'm going to put on a black acrylic stain, and then I'm going to sand that as well. So I'll show you what I do there. It's nothing fancy. It's just an old rag. And I'm not putting it on too thick, as you can tell. I just want it to give it a little darker color. It is for a young man's room, and you know, we do young man colors. We don't do pinks and stuff like that. I know people tell you all the time that that's getting in touch with your feminine side, and it's funny they don't say that about women, getting in touch with their masculine side. But anyway, we want it to look masculine, we want it to look strong, but want it to really look like, you know, if somebody had been painting it for a long time, a lot of years, and that it has weather on it, that it has everything else. I started with the vinegar still wool solution. That's what I put on first, and then I went to the stain. So I'm doing this multiple colors. It really takes a lot of time to do this, and that's why most people don't want to do it, but it really does come out looking good. This is all I'm doing. You can see I'm not leaving any. I'm really smearing. That's all I'm doing. Smearing it, trying to make it look like it has an old antique look. And you want to make sure on those tongue and groove boards that you get those edges, because if you don't get the edges, it doesn't quite look right in my mind. But ultimately, you're doing this for you. So you get to decide what you're looking for, just like I'm getting to decide what I'm ultimately looking for. I'm just showing you this because we're doing our house, our remodeling. We're doing it all in rustic stuff. My next project probably is going to be a dining room table, farmhouse table. But right now we just got through with the bunk bed, and you can take a look at that. You can see I went all the way to the end of that board, and that's it. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you some finished boards already. Here they are. And I know the sun's probably casting some shadows because I'm in the shade, but I just want you to see what we're doing while we're out here. These are 12-foot boards. They're 1 by, oh gosh, I guess maybe 1 by 7s, maybe 1 by 8s by 12 foot. And so that's just kind of what I picked up. It was kind of the best price for the size. That's all it is. But you can see my yellows. You can see that kind of reddish, rusty color, and you can see what I'm really trying to focus on is right down in here. I really want to still see the wood grain, but I want a lot of these lines still going through here. I want those lines to be apparent. You get that by always sanding the same direction. I use different size sandpaper. I use a really rough one at about 80, and then I use another one that's 220 for a little lighter sanding. But like I say, my goal, my purpose is to get in here, and when you can see those streaks and the wood grain, I really want that to appear in the overall deal. Well, that's what I do with the paint. Let me show you what I do with the sandpaper, and then we'll go from there. I'm using a pretty rough sandpaper on these. As I get toward the end of it, I start using a lighter one, but I just make sure that I go the same direction, and I want to see some wood in there. Alright, the last coat that I'm using is a wood stain by Minwax. It's water-based. It's whitewash pickling. And this is it right here. That's what it looks like. You can see the difference. I went ahead and put on 2 coats of the black, the classic black, and I really wanted something to subdue the black and bring out the highlights, and you can see it makes a lot of a gray. And this is just a 220 bent over a little sanding sponge I've worn out. My hand's tired. Just feels better on my hand, and I'm just doing it to get down to the grain. You can tell this wood it's not the finest quality of wood, because you can see where it went through the mill. It just really didn't plane out very well, and so it's not the highest quality wood, but it certainly looks better than it did originally. That's what it looked like originally. And here are my coats of paint. Started with kind of a very, very light, almost it's a greenish, light green, and then I put a little stroke of red on it, a little stroke of yellow, kind of hitting those 2 areas together. Then I hit with a couple of coats of black. Of course, I'm sanding between every one of these. And then I've come over it with the white pickling, and I just kind of get to a point where I like it. And when I start to see these wood grains down here, to me that makes me really like it. And I'm probably going to sand it down a little more to bring out some of the natural wood, and that'll be about it. But I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of harder sandpaper on one direction. And light board's running between the 2 drawer structures, and that's where I am. So right now I'm putting on. I had a piece of wood that wasn't long enough to go the length, but I did cut it stretch to the 2x4. And I'm just making sure with my rubber hammer that that lap board is going to fit in. And it lets me kind of beat around on it a little bit without causing too much.